Welcome, everyone, to today's episode of Spelling Bee Ninja, where we dive deep into essential English grammar. Today, we're exploring the future continuous tense, also known as the future progressive tense. This tense is not only vital for effective communication but also a fascinating aspect of English that lets us describe ongoing actions happening at specific moments in the future. So, whether you are preparing for a spelling bee or just brushing up on your grammar, stay tuned as we break down the structure, usage, and practical tips for mastering the future continuous tense. The future continuous tense is all about actions in progress at a certain point in the future. Think about it like this: it allows you to paint a picture of what will be happening at a future time, rather than focusing just on actions that will be completed. For instance, if I say, I will be studying at 8 p.m. tonight, this shows that at that specific time, my studying will be ongoing. Similarly, when I say, she will be waiting for you when you arrive, I'm emphasizing the action of waiting, which will be happening at the moment of your arrival. This is where the future continuous tense shines, especially when compared to the future simple tense, which tells us more about single or completed actions in the future. For example, I will call you later is straightforward and focuses on a single action. In contrast, I will be calling you at 7 p.m. incorporates that ongoing aspect we discussed earlier. Now, let's break down the structure of the future continuous tense. First, we have the affirmative form. The formula is simple: subject plus will plus be plus verb in the base form plus ing. Here are some examples to illustrate. I will be working on the project tomorrow, and they will be traveling to Paris this time next week. Notice how each sentence clearly outlines a future action that is expected to be ongoing. Next, let's look at the negative form. To create a negative sentence, you simply add not after will. The contracted form is won't. So, for example, he will not be attending the meeting, and they won't be watching the movie tonight. This showcases that there is no ongoing action happening in the specified future time. Moving on to questions, the structure is slightly different. You would place will at the beginning, followed by the subject, and then be followed by the verb in the base form plus ing. For instance, you could ask, will you be joining us for dinner, or will she be working late tonight? These structures allow for clarity and fluidity when engaging in conversation. The future continuous tense has various uses, which we can explore further. One primary use is to describe actions that are in progress at a specific future time. For example, at 9 p.m., I will be watching my favorite TV show, vividly illustrates an ongoing action during that future time. Another use is for polite inquiries about someone's plans. For instance, you might say, will you be using the conference room later? This kind of question softens the inquiry by suggesting a time frame that respects the other person's plans. The future continuous is also excellent for setting the background for future events. Imagine saying, when you arrive, I will be waiting outside. This not only communicates what you will be doing but also helps to create a scene. Moreover, we can use this tense to express expected trends or habits. For example, in the coming years, people will be using electric cars more frequently, reflects an ongoing future change in habits. To add even more clarity, we can incorporate time markers into our sentences. Common time markers include phrases like at this time tomorrow or in the future. Using these markers provides context, helping listeners understand exactly when the actions are expected to take place. It's a great way to enrich your communication. Now, let's talk about how the future continuous tense relates to other tenses. For instance, the future continuous and the future simple are quite different. The future simple tense is focused on completed actions, while the future continuous emphasizes those actions that will be ongoing. Additionally, there is a difference between the future continuous and the present continuous tense. The present continuous tense can refer to future plans, but it doesn't emphasize ongoing actions in the same way. For example, you might say, I am meeting her tomorrow, which is more of a scheduled plan, whereas, with the future continuous, you would say, I will be meeting her at 6 p.m., which highlights that the meeting will be in process at that time. Now that we've covered a lot of ground, let's discuss some practical tips for mastering the future continuous tense. First, it's crucial to understand its purpose. Focus on how this tense emphasizes the ongoing nature of an action at a specific time in the future. Practice using time markers to create your sentences, adding richness and clarity. It's also beneficial to use this tense in real-life situations. Whether you are discussing future plans or making polite inquiries, practice is key to feeling comfortable with it. Another important tip is to differentiate it from similar tenses. Regularly practicing distinguishing between the future continuous, future simple, and present continuous will help clarify your understanding and use of these tenses. Lastly, engage in conversations where you can practice asking and answering questions using the future continuous tense to boost your fluency. Let's look at some contextual examples in daily life. You might say, I will be cleaning the house all morning, or ask, will you be cooking dinner tonight? In work environments, you could say, we will be discussing the proposal in tomorrow's meeting, or they won't be attending the seminar next week. When planning leisure activities or travel, you could enthusiastically say, at this time next month, I will be relaxing on a beach, or inquire, will she be visiting us during her vacation? It's common to make mistakes with the future continuous tense, but don't worry. Being aware of these can help you improve. One common mistake is omitting the ing form of the verb. For example, saying, I will be watch TV, is incorrect. The correct form is, I will be watching TV. Another mistake is misplacing time markers, such as saying, I will be at this time tomorrow working, which should be phrased as, at this time tomorrow, I will be working. Lastly, using the wrong auxiliary verb is another mistake to avoid. For instance, I am be traveling to London next week should be corrected to I will be traveling to London next week. To conclude, the future continuous tense is a powerful tool for discussing actions occurring in the future. By mastering its structure, practicing its use with time markers, and recognizing its unique applications, you will confidently integrate this tense into your English language skills. So, start practicing today, and soon you'll find yourself using the future continuous tense with ease in all your future-focused conversations. Today, we explored the future continuous tense, also known as the future progressive tense. We discussed its structure, including how to form affirmative, negative, and interrogative sentences. We also highlighted its common uses, like describing ongoing actions at specific future times and making polite inquiries. Understanding the differences between the future continuous and other tenses, such as the future simple and present continuous, was also crucial. Remember to practice this tense in real-life situations, use time markers for clarity, and engage in conversations to solidify your understanding. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Spelling Bee Ninja. We hope you found our discussion on the future continuous tense both informative and engaging. Keep practicing, and soon you'll have a firm grasp on this essential aspect of English grammar. Don't forget to tune in next time as we continue to explore more exciting topics in the world of English learning. Until then, happy studying!